Hey guys, Kevin here with etrailer, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install the line of Phoenix Faucets RV bathroom faucets here on our 2010 Forest River Flagstaff Classic super-lite travel trailer. If your faucet's just not properly working anymore or is starting to corrode away and just doesn't really look nice anymore, the Phoenix Faucets line of RV bathroom faucets might be the right solution for you. This faucet is a dual knob design with your hot on your left and your cold on your right, and it comes in 4 different colors. This faucet has a 2.2 gallon per minute water flow, which is a little bit higher than most of the other Phoenix Faucet lines. If you look at some of the other ones, they do come with a 1.5 gallon per minute water flow, and that's typically just because they don't want you to kind of blow through all of your water real quickly running the faucet. Since you're in a camper and most of the time you're not really hooked up to city water, you're just using your holding tank. Installation of these faucets is super simple. The hardest part really is kind of just getting up in your cabinet to hook up your water lines because it's just really tight. RV manufacturers really don't give you a lot of space because they're trying to cram everything into one little piece. So other than that, you should be able to get this done in maybe just 5 minutes. So here's our neighbor's current faucet. As you can see, it's kind of getting worn out. The finish on it's kind of getting ruined, and it's just nothing that you can really clean off. It just kind of happens over time. Buildup kind of gets on there and eats through it. So we're going to go ahead and replace it. To replace that, there are 2 fittings down below that are just a screw-on fitting. So we will have to get under the sink, which pretty tight space, especially in campers just like this, where you really just have this really tiny cabinet. But should be super simple. We're just going to unscrew those off, and we'll be able to plop our old faucet off. So here's the fittings I'm talking about. These just simply screw on. This is typically going to be what you're going to find on any kind of faucet like that. With these, they are plastic. You shouldn't have to really use any tools to get them on and off, but they may be a little bit tighter than your hand can handle at first. But you do want to be real careful. If you use like channel locks or anything like that, it can kind of start to mar up that connection point, and then you're not going to be able to really get it on there properly, and you can end up having a leak. So here's a little bit of view of what I was talking about. Here's that little connection point. Really, it just screws on. Like I said, this is plastic, so using anything metal like the channel locks, you're going to end up just cutting into this too much. You can end up kind of crushing it or breaking it, and like I said, I've seen a lot of these crack, and then you end up not having a waterproof seal on it anymore, and then it's just going to sit there and leak, and typically you don't find that leak until it's a major issue. So we can go ahead and get our cold water inlet out, and then we can start unscrewing our faucet. So now all we have to do is unscrew our faucet. If you look at those 2 inlets, there's these black rings that are around it that are also going to have that same kind of little tabs on it that you can kind of grip onto and unscrew it. So you're just going to have to take those off. With both rings removed, we can lift up our faucet, and then you can see both those water inlets. Now the next step is going to be measuring your sink's water inlet holes. Ours today is spaced 4 inches apart, center to center, so we know we need to get a faucet that is 4 inches center to center, or if we have a single inlet faucet where it's got the 2 hoses coming out, we just need to make sure that we can cover both of these holes with the little dash plate that kind of goes over that and lets the single stack faucet sit in place. Installing our new faucet is going to be super simple. We'll simply drop it down into the inlets on our sink, and then we will use our little plastic nut right here, and we're just going to thread that on. Once we have that fully threaded on, it's going to clamp it to the sink itself, so it won't be able to kind of move around or kind of slide or anything. And then you can easily screw on your water inlets. Now there is one other thing along with this. If you look at the top, there's this little black cover here. If you pull that out, you can also go ahead and stick in a stopper. So if your sink already had a drain plug, you can easily run that rod right through there and be able to plug up your sink. If not, you can go ahead and leave that cover in place. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this into place, and then I'm going to screw these on until it's almost tight, about 99% of the way, and then I can kind of readjust this because, as you can see, this can kind of shift around a little bit, especially when you're trying to screw it on. It's going to want to kind of lean up and kind of move around. So I want to make sure that when I have it all the way clamped down, that I have it exactly centered on here and make it look nice. So I'll begin screwing these on. All right, now I can go ahead and kind of center it how I want and finish tightening it. All right, with that fully tightened down, we can go ahead and start hooking up our water. All right, make my final twists on here, get it nice and tight so we don't have any leakage. One thing I like to do is stick a piece of newspaper or a paper towel under there that you can kind of tell if it gets wet, so it'll kind of crinkle up, and you just leave that down there for a day or two. Kind of just make sure that everything's nice and tight, because you won't always see it if it's dripping real slow. But I think we're pretty good right now. We can go ahead and turn on our water and test it out. Now that we know that our faucet is properly functioning and we don't have any leaks down at our water inlets, that will do it for today's installation of the line of Phoenix Faucets RV bathroom faucets.